Oh boy, everybody, welcome back to HoloNet Marauders Live and the HoloNet Marauders podcast. I'm AJ, joined here by Jamie, Jam the Jedi, Marauder Matt, and Jack. How's it going, guys?
It's cool.
Hello.
Doing
I
good.
will. I'll get to
Matt,
it. I'll get to you in a minute, Matt.
He's holding it together.
I'll get to Matt in a minute. So, how's everybody going? How's everyone doing in the chat? I should say. Good to see our familiar faces back. Erland,
Gang's all here.
Erland pointed out like 9 hours ago, AJ for president. No reason, but thanks. I appreciate it. It is
Thank
a very
you.
Oh, I
good
didn't see
intro.
the timestamp on that. That's hilarious.
Isn't that great? But yes, we're gonna be getting to the Bad Batch, obviously, the Solitary Clone, episode 3. But if you're watching this, be sure to like and subscribe, of course. As someone on YouTube, I feel like you have to say that before every episode. We never do. You never know. Maybe someone will subscribe because of that. And if you're listening to the audio version, be sure to rate or review it. I don't know. I always notice you can rate and review on podcast platforms. So give us a nice give us a nice 5-star review. 4 stars if you're not
smash that like button.
Totally happy with us. I don't know. Smash that star button. Smash that like button.
Give us a 5-star review if you hate us. Give us a 1-star review if you like us.
Hit the heart.
If you
It's
have
always
no
good.
idea what's happening right now and are just here to listen, thank you. Thank you for listening, because that is what counts.
Because you just want to listen to us talk about the Bad Batch. That's probably why you're here. But Matt, very good job holding it in.
Thank you. I tried.
He laughs at the start of, even if no crazy intro or not, he laughs.
I think it's the hey everybody.
I don't know why that makes you laugh.
Because it's just funny. It's just funny.
It is. Yeah, it's supposed to be a little funny, but yeah, this episode, the Solitary Clone. What were your? I have a question of the week to get to, but what were your initial thoughts as I dig up that question of the week?
Best piece of
Jamie.
Star Wars of the year. I mean, that's not saying much, but it is one of the
Oh.
best pieces of Star Wars I've seen in a very
I
long
see what you
time.
did there.
No, I honestly
I
think it
didn't.
might be my favorite Bad Batch episode. I think it might be my
I think
favorite.
so.
I thought it was pretty good. Certainly a lot of great cameos that we'll get into that were much needed post Revenge of the Sith. Crosshair's living exactly the life I thought he'd be. Everyone hates him no matter where he goes.
I know.
That's
This whole
unfortunate.
time I've been saying Crosshair's an asshole, and I don't want him to be redeemed. But I feel like I was kidding myself because I watched this episode and I'm like, I'm rooting for him, even though
I am too.
he
of
does
course.
something shitty at the end. But yeah,
We're Star Wars fans. You give us a redemption arc, we eat that shit up because that's who
Crosshair
we are.
equals bad.
Question
Speaking of
mark?
Crosshair, that is the question of the week. I might pull 2 questions of the week if we're lucky here from Patreon. But
right.
First one comes from Dylan. He says, "Is Crosshair getting calloused?"
Yes.
I had to think about that for 2 seconds. Or do you think he stays on course as the show goes along? Which is kind of what we were just saying. Do we think he gets redeemed?
I
Oh,
don't
I
know
think
if
he's growing
genetically
mutton
clones
chops.
can grow those kind of chops. Yeah, Matt.
Yeah,
and I
well, you
were
saw
saying
he was starting the beard. You could see he had like a
Yeah.
5 o'clock shadow.
He's
He's
coming
not
in.
clean shaven anymore, so he can be
Right.
calloused.
I have a lot of thoughts on that front of
Oh,
it being
actually, Rex can
calloused.
grow a beard.
It's possible. We know it's possible.
I wish I could grow a beard.
Same.
Anyway,
What are you saying,
Mustache.
Jamie?
I don't know, because you guys are really derailed with. Okay, I don't even know anymore.
Look, it's important to know if clones can grow beards or not.
It is important to know. Okay, let me just jump right into it. He was stranded for 32 days, right? And he most likely was in the pouring rain also, right? Yeah, 32 days just in the rain, sitting there. What, he like survived off of spite and fish for 32 days? Maybe. If he was well fed
That seems
enough, that
something.
means that he would have grown a beard, but he probably didn't. He was probably close to dead. But like, I love hearing about like bearded Crosshair. Like, those are my favorite fan arts. Is like the Bad Batch with beards. Don't look
beard
too far into it.
batch.
The beard batch.
The
Beard
beard
badge. That's what we're getting.
Beard batch. I
Every
will
clone-
simply pass away.
Was he best friends with the beach ball also, or volleyball, while he
Yeah.
was stranded?
It's a Castaway reference for everybody. Mark
Oh.
your bingo cards.
Cross away.
Yep.
His helmet just becomes Wilson.
Exactly.
He didn't
and
have
it
his
floats
helmet
away.
at that point.
Wilson.
Oh, you're right. Damn it.
He didn't
Where
have a
was his
helmet. He didn't have his backpack. They left the helmet behind, and Hunter took his backpack.
It's
But then he
true.
has a new one. But anyway.
Oh.
So is he
what
gonna
did
get
talk
calloused?
to?
Anyway, we had to get back to the fish that he caught, and then he would eat it. So it'd be like a golem. I only wish to catch.
There's Lord of the Rings. Wow, 2 movies.
What?
and-
Check.
But no, is Crosshair gonna get calloused? Yes, 100% in the sense of redemption. He should, because you can't have like literally a family unit and then take it apart. They got to put it back together, because Star Wars is also always about family. They're gonna put him back with his family somehow.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Mhm.
I agree.
Should I get to the other question while we're here? It's from Erland, and we love Erland. We just pointed out Erland's
We do
comment.
love Erland.
So we love you, Erland. And this is a very Matt question. Favorite Star Wars Resistance character?
Like the show Resistance.
done
or
these in
like the
Show
faction.
Resistance.
I think
Okay,
it's
if
the
you
show.
can't pick one,
It's probably the show.
Jack, you can pick any Resistance character, but it's definitely about like the show.
It could be
yeah.
your answer
answer
could be
that about
the
the
same to
show.
both.
It's not for me.
Oh, I know who it is. I know who it is. I didn't even know his exact name.
Who wants to go first?
I'm gonna go Poe Dameron
Okay.
because he's in both.
Oh, fine. Go ahead.
Peter.
Go right ahead.
No, I'm gonna go Bucket. I like Bucket the droid.
Bucket. I
a
have
good
bucket. A quick draw bucket.
Oh wow,
Oh, wow.
Quick draw
deep
bucket.
pull.
I also
It's
have
fine.
a quick draw. My favorite girl, Sonara-san,
Hey.
Hey.
which
Sarah's a good part of it.
another pirate. She deserves to be in so much more. She is like literally the best character in Resistance.
Absolutely.
Yeah, she's wasted
So-
on that show.
She's too
For
more.
me, it's Hype Phazon, of course. I'm
Yes.
a big Scrubs fan.
Oh.
I want to see
Yes.
Donald Faison do an actual live action role, but just
Like
just happy
Zach
to see
Braff.
him have a role in Star Wars. I know how much that means to him,
Good pick.
And I-
Good pick.
and he's
I would
an
probably-
obnoxiously fun character.
He
Oh
is.
yeah.
He's great. He's a great. And his arc is great too over the course of the show. He
Mhm.
goes
Yeah.
from being like a self-centered jerk to like actually, being part of the crew.
He reminds me
Uh,
of Bruce from Skyward Sword.
There you go, Bruce, the Gruesinator. Never forget.
The Legend of
Zelda.
Bruce.
Who could possibly forget about Bruce? Anyway,
Another
Legend,
reference.
Legend of Zelda, take it off. Mine would probably be Jaeger
Yes.
Good one.
or Jarek Yeager. It's actually Yeager.
I also
would say
have
Jaeger.
Eager quick draw.
He is awesome.
Thank you.
He
Thank you. I
served-
need visuals.
He served at the Battle of Jakku. He's got a little picture hanging on his shelf of him and his buddies chilling at the Battle of Jakku, just having a blast, as one does in battle, in war. Yeah, it's a lot of fun, apparently, according to him.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Big blast.
He's got that great old grizzled man mentor energy.
Yeah.
it
Exactly.
feels-
He's good.
Exactly.
I'd like
And
to see him
then-
turn up again in something, but
I would say it's
Who
a
knows?
tie between Yeager and O'Peepit.
Yes, you love Opipit.
Love O'Peepit.
Also love Flix and Orca. Yep, the gay alien
there
couple.
we go.
Flix and
Yeah.
Orca. Love them. One of
love
them
Bobby
voiced
Moynihan.
by Bobby Moynihan.
Yeah.
Friend of the show, Bobby Moynihan.
Friend of the show. One day.
Other honorable mention, CB23.
Yes.
The,
Oh,
the
gotta
best
love 'em.
girl.
Love her.
Of course.
My friend Sam got me this from Droid Depot on Batu. But yeah, CB23. We like a lot. We talk, and also, guys, don't forget, Sidon was in one episode, so he counts.
oh,
That is also true. And B1, the droid that he brought with him, that the Colossus resurrected, dude, and then they killed him off 2 episodes later. B1 was such a good droid.
spoilers.
The
and-
Gorgs, Mighty,
The Gorg's
Mighty the
great,
Gorg.
awesome, and Axe to Grind. I'm gonna say Axe to Grind from now on, even though it's probably Axe Taggart. I don't really know, but he's a bounty hunter, a really cool guy. Again,
Yes.
check him out.
The ass forgets.
Axe
yeah,
to Grind
yeah.
seems like a good Star Wars, like where a pun's just nicely laid in there.
Oh,
yeah.
it's
Yeah.
brilliant,
Totally.
brilliant name.
That
Took
seems
me a
like it.
while to get, but he's awesome. He's awesome. He's got a crazy laser axe.
Man, we really over answered this question.
He really
We
did.
answered practically
Yeah,
every
we
character
should've-
but the main
It's one of the few podcasts that's ready to go with a resistance
Resistance.
question.
I should have done the
we would-
resistance question, then the crosshair question to segue into Bad Batch. But
Yeah.
oh well.
Let's talk about the Bad Batch. I've been dying to talk about the Bad Batch.
Let's talk about the Bad Batch.
Ooh, look at that.
Whoa.
Not only do all
Ooh.
those clones exist, but they are all upstairs and they are begging to know about this episode.
Oh yeah.
Always sunny. Check. Check.
Not a damn desk in that office.
There
Wait,
is no
but wait.
HR.
That's literally Rampart this episode. He's like, not only did he's like insinuated to Crosshair,
Thank you.
not only does Clone Force 99 exist, but they've been dying to reveal themselves. And I know that you're lying, Crosshair. That's literally Rampart this entire episode. Like,
He's playing it a lot closer to the chest than I thought he'd be, to be honest.
Seriously.
Yeah. I'm surprised. I mean, he
like,
shot
what are
the
you gonna
guy in
tell
the
him?
head who told him. So the
I
fact
kind of
that
like that we're seeing a lot of Rampart.
yeah, it's
Because we kind of
cool.
need to. You know, he was weak in season 1, so
Yeah, he's like
I-
become the guy with the strings pulling them behind the back, you know, for anyone not watching.
Yeah.
I really liked his office. Just very plain. It looks like any other Coruscant office, but
but he has a very big window, so it means he's doing well enough because he has like an office with a window, right? Because he is a vice
Yeah.
admiral. But
That's what we
I'm
learned from
so-
Andor. Bigger the window, the more successful you are.
that's
Mm.
true. I'm so glad that Andor set the stage for Imperial Coruscant really for us, like in this era, because that's all I
Yeah.
could kind of think about while they were there. And I'm sure we're gonna get to the music at some point, but the Kiner brothers music again was very Andor-esque with the synth waves and
Oh my god!
so I was
Niners.
like,
Park.
ooh, like
That was-
did they all collaborate and like meet up? Like I don't know.
They-
I don't think they
nailed
did.
it.
or
but they
maybe they
nailed
just
it.
watched Andor and they were like, "I'm feeling Andor."
True.
I'm loving the bookended cafeteria scenes. One
Yes.
for thinking behind the scenes of the machinations of how this all comes down to it. Does Rampart have like he must have a feed of that cafeteria, and he waits. He
This is
waits
why.
for Crosshair to just be about ready to sit down, and then he gives the order to the intercom lady to do it.
This
'Cause
is
it's
why
just-
he's a
it's too
bad
good.
guy. He can't eat a hot breakfast to save his life.
Yeah. True.
Nor with any form of company. Wow, he got mean
Dude.
girled so hard.
I felt
Cafeteria
bad.
politics, they never go away. You can't escape them. You thought
He
you
just-
could just escape, graduate high school and get out of there? No.
Maybe
It
they
just
were there for
isn't-
that food fight. on
Never
Twitter.
gonna have a peaceful lunch because it's either a food fight or it's just everyone's gonna be staring at you. I also noticed the first meal that he grabs is like literally like a chicken like leg. It's like the bone and everything.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Um,
King Richard's Fair.
That's what it looked
Yeah.
like. But I just was just thinking back to in the first arc of episodes in the Clone Wars, Wrecker's just like deadlifting Gonki with the chicken wing, the chicken
Oh
leg.
yeah.
I wonder if
about
he
that.
thought about him. Oh,
The whole Bad Batch loves chickens, I guess.
I
look at
to go
all
off,
those
it's
Good
just a
chickens.
thing.
protein rich bird.
to go off what Jack said about loving seeing Crosshair's kind of daily life at the beginning and at the end. I don't believe there was music. There definitely wasn't at the end. Jamie and I just rewatched it,
Mhm.
but I don't think there was music at the beginning either. And I liked how quiet it was. Like there wasn't much chatter going on except those two guys, and we'll get to their conversation that Crosshair sat down next to. But there's kind of just the humming of the machinery, the alarm
Yeah.
bell going off at the beginning, and then the Rampart public announcement thing. Like I don't know, it's a stupid detail, but I love how quiet it was. And
No,
use
yeah,
of
the
boring and
silence.
music is huge.
yeah,
Yeah.
The use of silence is always sometimes a better choice in those situations to make it like more tense. Not to bring up like Breaking Bad, but like AJ and I have been in a rewatch of Breaking Bad again. We won't get into spoilers, but there's one episode in season 3 in which it's isolated just to one zone the entire episode. If you've seen the show, it's the Fly episode. But like there's pretty much no music in that episode. Also directed by Ryan Johnson. There's no music in that episode. Like the use of silence is astounding, and so like using silence within film in any medium is sometimes it just speaks to so much more, especially when you're used to having the music in it.
And also, like the lack of sound, or lack of music, and the lack of color are both big contrasts to our first look at Crosshair in season 2 versus our first look at the Bad Batch in season 2, because they are colorful, it's bright,
Yes.
they're having a fun adventure, there's cool music to go along with it, And then with Crosshair, it's literally the opposite. No
Oh,
music.
Well, if you want to talk
Drab,
about
gray, quiet.
He's in his pajamas. Crosshair's pajamas, which is I'm obsessed with. They are hilarious.
Boring but
and
comfortable.
it's vest hair. I'm so excited. Sorry. I just
The
can't stop laughing
pajamas.
at the pajamas.
Bad Batch, more like the Nap Batch. Am I right?
We don't even see the Bad Batch. Well, we see Crosshair. So
Crosshair's in the Bad Batch.
He
Okay,
counts.
he
He's
still
still
is.
he's an
Fair.
honorary.
He's an OG.
You can't once you're in the Bad Batch, you can't leave the Bad Batch.
Bad
he
Batch
does
for
defend his
life.
brothers at one point later,
Yeah, exactly.
sort of. Yeah,
But
he
he
called the Ramparts office.
Yeah.
Crosshair doesn't. Sorry, not to still be on Crosshair's pajamas, but he doesn't even have a blanket or a pillow. He's just there.
And he's
Awful.
lying on like the whole side of his head, like the weird Freddy
Yeah,
Krueger
the
side of
gnarly
his head.
side.
Oh, yeah.
Not a
It
fan
just
of that.
it looks so uncomfortable, and like the first like time he wakes up, it's like with the alarm because he just like knows and it's ready. But the second time, he did not sleep at all. He
Oh,
was
no.
up thinking the whole night. He was up before the alarm, and it's only gonna get worse.
I don't trust anyone who can sleep without a blanket. I don't know.
I don't
That's
either.
No,
true.
yeah.
I can't do that. Can't do that.
Very weird.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
It looked like he was in a cell, right? So I imagine.
Yeah,
this was a very
yeah.
fucking solitary clone. So,
Yeah.
But the two clones that were eating before Crosshair sat down, they're talking about the defense recruitment bill.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys caught that, I imagine
Yeah.
we all did. And this whole episode and all of the end of last season, everything is alluding to that. They're recruiting stormtroopers, quote unquote. I don't know if they've called them that yet, right?
There's still TK troopers, I think.
TK, okay. But yeah, they're coming in with the out with the old, in with the new, and that's gonna be that's gonna come to a head later this season, I would guess. But I don't know. What do you guys think about that?
No, yeah.
Oh yeah.
And we all kind of predicted it last week when we were talking about the fact that it seems like more and more clones are defecting, getting the hell out of there. And once they are, Rampart's kind of using that as an excuse to say, look, these clones are defective. So we should get rid of them and bring in, start rounding citizens up to recruit them instead. And I actually really like that. I really like that that's the reason that the clones are being phased out, is because they're no longer able to follow orders, because they actually have conscious decisions to like not commit war crimes. I really like that.
Yeah. Yeah, because with the clones, their original purpose was for the Republic, and the Republic they could see as an ideal, programming or not. That was still like something where they could argue away any wrongdoings they might have done during the war in the face of battle, because it was for the good of the Republic. But the Empire has a different vibe to it entirely. So you would want someone who you enlisted because they have a moral agreement with what you're doing as a totalitarian government. And you can always tell what a theme of a whole season is going to be by what's in the first few episodes. So the fact that we're seeing so many examples of clones disobeying or questioning their orders, either directly or in the moment, speaks to this being the major arc that we're going to see unveil and come to a head in the finale.
Yeah,
They're also getting paid.
I got.
Oh
paid.
yeah, right.
Oh, wow.
It's that
Man,
meme.
you
Wait,
picked up
you
on
guys are
that.
getting paid?
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
is
that's
that.
part of it. So like
It's
once that
cool
gets out, who knows?
It's cool to see like the chips as a kid, and like I know the chips were different when we were younger. There's a whole different
There were no
canon
chips.
story to that. Yeah, there was no chips. They were
was
just,
just
we knew
the-
this all along.
The
But-
clones had no personality. They were all just
They
meat
were supposed to be-
droids. And
But
they
I
just
like-
followed
Way.
orders.
Yeah.
I like that the chips aren't so like they go off. Oh, we're all robots. We're all hypnotized. I mean, they sort of are, but you can see them wearing off, as you guys were just saying. Like,
Yeah.
I almost said Ballast. Hauser. You see that
Yes.
Hauser. He hasn't had his chip taken out, and he clearly sees what's right and wrong. Cody,
Yep.
very similar. We see that in this episode, and that'll be a good segue into Cody showing up here with Crosshair.
The great majority of the clones don't even know the chips exist. They don't.
This is
Yeah,
true.
no.
They have no idea that the chips
Cody has no
exist.
idea.
Really, the only ones who know are like the Bad Batch and Rex, and anyone that Rex has rescued so far, obviously. But like
Yeah.
that is it. That's it. The clones don't know that they were mind controlled. Like they
And
just
fives.
And obviously, potentially I mean, obviously, time is the biggest factor in terms of why it seems these chips are wearing off. But I think another layer of it is that, most of what the clones had to face when they were fighting for the Republic were, clankers, so they weren't really killing anyone. They weren't really causing any true violence in the sense that, people were being injured and lives were lost, unless it were clone lives. Maybe occasionally in separatist confrontations or like some sort of cell, I don't know. But in this case, they're subjugating civilians on every turn. So like it's the kind of thing that it would like wear down. It seems like it would wear down the chip the more it has to force clones to do something that is obviously morally objectionable.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
I'd say the chip is probably like just straight up breaking down like in their head because they're actively like fighting against it a little bit of just like making their own decisions as Cody says later on. So that's what's causing these clones to actually like get around it because there's
one Easter egg. I'm just thinking about this now, but there's one Easter egg in the first episode of the entire show. And I don't know if this is the main reason why they featured Kanan or Caleb in the first episode, but Commander Gray. If you read the comics, Commander Gray is the first clone to break his programming without taking the chip out or anything. They're chasing Kanan. They're trying to blow him up, and Kanan reaches out to him and says, "Look, we served together. You're my brother. I love you." And he's like, "Oh man, you're right." And he like blows up his own ship and like kills all the clones that were chasing Kanan, including himself, just to save his life. So I don't know if that was purposeful. They probably just put in Kanan to be like, oh, look, it's all the Rebels characters. But if you're keeping a checklist of all the clones that broke their programming that have been featured in the Bad Batch, you're gonna have to put Commander Gray at the top, and then it's Hauser and what's the guy's name from last week?
Wilco.
Oh jeez.
And now Cody, and of course we saw Rex, and there's a bunch of, and all of the Bad Batch, of course, and I mean, we're probably going to see more over the course of the season. But
Clone Rebellion's coming.
Exactly. And I'm looking forward to that. People were speculating that we were going to get that at the end of season 1, and that's how Kamino was going to be destroyed, because that happens kind of in Legends, but in a different way. The Kaminoans send the clones after the Empire, and this one could just be clones against the Empire on their own, of their own free will. That would be awesome to see.
It would be, yeah. So Cody?
Talk about lack of color and being depressed.
Yeah.
My God, when he showed up with that gray armor, I wanted to just sink into my couch.
He had that energy. He had that energy of when you kind of hope that someone's like into you, but like you don't know if they're into you, so like you gotta kind of just like play it cool and just like ask the right questions and like see if they get the right vibes. And Crosshair was not throwing down the right vibes, you guys. Dude. No,
he was not. He was not getting anywhere with.
It's not a good time.
Crosshair. It's unfortunate.
You see Cody get so bummed.
I was saying to AJ, if Cody wasn't shown in the trailer, it would have been such a reveal of Cody just like showing up, and looking like that. So, but still, it was like seeing him again was perfect, and everything that I could have wished for, honestly.
It was nice to see him, of all people, being like, maybe we messed up real bad, and I don't like this anymore, because he was always the one that we thought of as the most. He was the first one we saw do it.
He was just so clearly feeling the guilt and feeling just all of it, just the entire time, and all of it was just weighing on him. And literally every time something came up, either mentioning the Jedi or just mentioning we have to like live with those choices, you can tell the gears are turning in his head, and he's just like, I should not have killed Obi-Wan. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Like that's all he was thinking the entire time. And Crosshair's just like,
shoot her. Whatever.
Who cares?
Like, who cares?
They had it coming. Because they're Jedis.
Just throw some mirrors at the wall. You'll be fine, buddy.
Listen, we're not paid to think.
We're not paid at all.
We're not made to think.
It's just baffling because like we have Cody experiencing this massive guilt and just like this like self-inflicted pressure of just he knows it was the wrong decision, and then Crosshair is experiencing he's like this guy is suffering something. But I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing because I like what I have going for myself right now, and that's what Crosshair is just trying to keep his head above water. But at the same time, like he still does like the old like Bad Batch tactics of just being like absolutely batshit crazy. And Cody's just like, oh, there he is. There we go. And so it's
guy.
great.
So what
Would
the
we-
hell was that wall they were standing? in
Exactly.
front of?
Yeah.
That was the memorial
The
wall.
memorial.
The memorial
So-
for who? People
for clones, I
Clones.
guess.
So
for
Yeah,
clones.
for the clone.
They-
Those are all the clones that have died.
it was referred to as just the battle
Wow.
memorial, just battle memorial.
They
Nothing
made a
specific.
memorial
Just
for clones. That's pretty powerful, actually.
I am obsessed with like the carvings, like in like the pillars, just the huge ones. It looked like something like out of like Egypt. You'd see of like the carvings in like the sandstone. Like
They were very cool.
incredible.
It'd be cool if they had like a little, I don't know, some merch with that. Like you know how they make the statues at Batu.
Yeah.
If they made
Yeah,
something like that.
Let's see that.
It reminded me a lot. I mean, I'm sure this was the inspiration. The Vietnam Wall Memorial in
Yeah.
Washington D.C.
definitely.
yeah.
For sure.
At least like on approach, not because like the whole thing with the Vietnam Memorial was like that wall cuts into it, so from like one point of view you don't even know it's there, but then when you're
Right.
on the other side you see it. It truly to me reminded me a lot of the 9/11 Memorial as well in New York City. If you guys have been in the World Trade Center
Yeah.
in the past 20 years, it was very striking in that way and very haunting in that way of just like a walls with names. Any kind of memorial like that is going to be very haunting, and they did a really good job of invoking, hey, this is what happened, and this was we want to honor these people, but this is what we got.
It's so phony of the Empire, though. Like as I think
Yeah, who put
Before
this
the
memorial
season-
together?
Yeah.
before the season, I speculated. I was like, "Oh,
Republic.
is that a clone memorial wall?" And Matt was like, "No, like they don't care about the clones. They don't." care
Yeah,
about the
I'm
clones."
honestly shocked. I'm
It's
honestly
weird.
shocked.
But it looks
Yeah,
cool.
that's true.
I mean, maybe
Yeah,
it's
it's
to kind
definitely
of
for
keep
show.
them in line. Like,
I
oh, we can see
honestly
we
think it was
care about
built
you.
during the Republic, and I think the Empire just hasn't gotten around to knocking it down yet. I mean, that's
That's-
kind of my thought.
and we just
That
never
makes
saw
some
it.
sense.
I like
can't
Yeah.
imagine the Empire keeping that up. Why would they bother? You know?
What was the sculpture? What was the helmet of the clone? Was it a phase 1 or phase 2?
Well, everybody's
Uh-huh.
saying it's the
Question.
memorial of the clones that died at the Battle of Geonosis. the first Battle of
Exactly.
Geonosis.
So if it's a
probably
phase 1
phase
helmet,
one.
all right, somebody go back and look because
All right, I'll watch the episode. I'll be right back.
but I
we
like
never
that
saw it in
though.
Clone Wars, so it's
We never saw this barracks on Coruscant either.
Oh, we
Which
never
was
saw
also-
the barracks in general. Okay.
Really cool. And not to my knowledge, I don't think we did, but like I loved like seeing Coruscant actually and getting to see the barracks and whatnot. So excuse me, that was my hands. I was just like very excited.
So, something we left out was before we see Crosshair and all this fun stuff with Cody and the wall and Coruscant, we see Dexus was the planet. Dexus.
Texas, yeah.
And
You
we
say
see
Dex?
Dex. Dex has his
Buddy.
own planet.
Still no Dex. Dex Watch is still ongoing.
Buddy.
Well, someday.
Governor Garrotten shows up,
Groton.
Everybody's favorite.
sweating bullets. He
I
kinda
live one
had,
town over from Groton.
he gave me our guy from Andor there that we don't like.
Cyril?
Yeah,
Which one?
he gave me Cyril vibes, like going in on the gunship, sweating. I loved Andor, and I already forget his name.
How could
It
you
was-
forget his name? And also, we don't like Cyril. I thought we liked
Oh,
Cyril.
yeah, I was gonna say I thought we liked Cyril. I thought we
I thought we
wanted
hated
a redemption arc.
No,
I don't know.
I stand on him.
I like to hate him. That's the
Yeah.
I
I
that's why
hated
like
him until I saw he was able to keep boundaries in a sticky situation. I'm like, okay, this guy's
He's
all right.
actually quite respectful.
Yeah,
Ye-
maybe a fascist pig, but yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
So
he
Groton.
could be way worse. Groton.
So I'd say this is like
Groton,
Groton's.
bullets.
I'd say this is Groton's like first off-world assignment, and so he's gone through the entire like whatever Imperial Academy is at this point in time for officers, and he's ready to go. He has his assignment. He's gonna go lay down the law, and then it all goes wrong.
I really have
Um,
to say, nothing derails your opening statement more than clearing your throat beforehand. I never know, like I never noticed that, but then as soon as he was like, "I'm here to steal your planet," it just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. It's like, oh,
Yeah,
buddy.
no confidence.
you had to take care of that before you got off the ship, man. You had to drink some water or something.
Yeah, he gets off the ship and he's like brushing himself off and everything, and it's just like, This guy's not ready. And
see
Tawny Ames
Tawny
takes
Ames.
advantage of that.
Oh yeah, she was cool. And then
Yeah.
later on, she pulls out the Mina Bonteri Easter egg.
Yeah, it
which is
talks
cool.
about
Nina
doing
Bonteri name drop.
peace treaties with her, which is very cool. So
I wanted to see more of Tawny Ames, but
Yeah.
it's not gonna happen.
R.I.P.
Crosshair.
Crosshair.
So Crosshair and Cody, they go to take
Texas.
back
Oh,
Texas.
Dexus.
Oh,
Texas.
Why would I be
Texas.
saying Texas
I
right
don't
now?
know.
Doing a funny. Jeez.
So they go to Texas to take it back, to occupy it, and kick Ames out of there, and to free Groton. I guess that was their real mission. But
That fake diplomatic mission lasted all of 2 seconds, huh?
they get shot out of the sky.
Gee, what does that remind us of? The diplomatic mission that doesn't last long at all.
I know a
Right.
few of those.
Yeah.
Seen that a couple
Oleron,
times.
Naboo.
Yeah.
Pick your favorite.
Doesn't get you anywhere. I
That-
loved Dexus though. Like it looked like Mars, but an agricultural world at the same time. So like I thought that was like really cool and really striking with the red. I also found it wicked interesting that Dexus, that entire city and like on the plateau and everything, that's like the background of the big poster so far for the show. And as of right now, the Bad Batch hasn't even gone there, but it was the background of the poster.
I honestly don't even know if we're going to see this planet again.
Probably not.
There it was.
But it looked pretty, so they threw it on the poster.
Very nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, we see like the negotiations war very short. The best tank driver in all of the Separatist army, I guess, this battle droid. Although later he's an idiot, but I love how he shoots the tank, or he shoots the ship out of the sky, the gunship they come in on, and then Crosshair's like, the droids running these tanks are idiots. Like he lets the guy miss him 2 or 3 times, and he shoots down the barrel, which was amazing.
That was.
But I just love
That's
how
very
Crosshair
satisfying.
was so confident. This guy just shot him out of the sky, and he's like, he won't hit me here. So, and then Cody.
I definitely had that moment in like a Battlefield game where it's like, "Whew, all right, I'm just taking the shot. I'm taking the shot, and either he goes or I go.
Yeah. Well, Crosshair wasn't flying. He can only shoot flying targets. Crosshair on the ground, safe and sound. That's what they
Yeah.
say. On the ground, safe and sound.
On the ground, safe and sound.
That's what they say.
That's what Cody was thinking, at least.
That's all he was saying in his mind.
Yeah,
I
I heard for the shoot,
absolutely love-
Crosshair didn't want to actually, fly on the helicopter, so he hiked to the set
Yeah, there you go.
for 3 days.
Has it ever
Are
been
we
a
saying that?
thing in a movie or something where they shoot down the barrel of a tank to like blow it up?
Oh,
'Cause I know-
probably.
I feel like there is.
In the game Sniper Elite, cross that off your bingo boards.
Yeah.
Sniper Elite 4, I think I've played. You can shoot down the barrel of the tank to like hit the driver or something.
Oh,
Which is
nice.
funny, but
I know in I'm just gonna say because it's in my head. In Last Crusade, they
stuffed
put a
a rock
potato
in
or
the
no, a
thing.
rock in the
Yeah.
barrel.
A potato.
They've like jammed
It
up
looked
like
like
a
a
cannon
potato.
before, but I don't think they've ever.
Indy
One
just pulls a
shot it down,
potato out of
but,
his bag and boom, he just shoves it right
I'm
in.
carrying this around.
Ugh.
Yeah, maybe
Hey.
maybe Indy Senior had it for some reason. Junior,
my
I know you're
lunch.
gonna need a potato.
Do you want to sit down and have a potato?
I just remembered my Charlemagne.
Sean Connery impersonations as
Okay, that's
Indiana
right
or
down.
Henry Jones Sr.
Talk about a hot
Henry
potato.
Jones Jr. Why?
Right.
What was I even going to say? I was going to say I had something to say. Oh yes, I absolutely love that they send the battle droids out to check the down ship, and the battle droids just walk up to it and they're like, "Well, 2 dead clones. Looks like we took out everybody." And they like wipe their hands and they're like, "All set, let's go." And then they get shot down, and there's like 20 surviving clones just hiding right there in the smoke. They're not
He
even
comes out.
doing
Stop,
anything.
drop, and roll.
Yeah.
That one battle droid like pulled down the whole
He, like
door with
strong
one
armed
arm.
it down.
Yeah, those B1s are a lot stronger than they look.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Then we
They're
got
a
some
little-
nice droidica action, right?
Yes, we did. And can I
Yeah.
say
About
the
time.
sound design? Like, I don't know. I've never thought of the droidica roll as being like an iconic sound, but as soon as I heard it, I was like, "Uh-oh."
It also like
You-
sounded like
Must
wicked
destroy
ominous
it.
as well, which was like really, really unsettling.
Yeah.
Speaking of
Hearing it like
boulders
spooling up.
rolling
Yeah.
down, it very much had that same ominous like, I don't like that sound coming from a place I can't see. How many
Yeah.
of these are about to come and mess things up? And it just
Yeah.
unloaded on that clone. I'm like, holy cow! I forgot how much that firepower can take someone down when there isn't a Jedi in the way. It'd just be like,
Somebody
know.
needed Saw Gerrera to teach them how to throw the friggin' thermal detonators at the shield. You just roll them. Come on, guys.
I know.
No,
I love
but-
how they made a point of emphasis showing that too.
Yeah,
Come on.
Boing.
it was a Chris dunk noise
Speaking of good sound design, you guys are nailing it. Love it.
Boing.
with our. I loved hearing the battle droids again. I loved how we got a good.
There were so
Oh,
many.
yeah.
mm.
Yeah, what sassy battle droids?
oh
Battle
yeah,
droids
with
are
you,
always
Governor.
sassy. First
I mean,
of
they
all,
are. You're right. You're
They
right.
high fived each
I'm
other.
the real governor. Mhm.
You're welcome. That's the first sass
Nice
out of a battle
shot.
droid.
Fun with a leaf blower.
Flame,
That's what it is.
flower,
But Droidicas,
SpongeBob.
we
check.
don't see Droidicas that often, so it was very exciting to see them.
Yeah, it really was.
so we keep like talking about like the sound design of this episode as well, but the show so far visually it is so good. I want to do a call out about the few different. Matt, you might know the technical term for this actually, but when they cover up most of the screen and then you just see like one part of it. But like there was like
Just
three
be,
or
like,
four.
framing.
Yeah, there's 3 or 4 like very distinct ones of like through the goggles that the tactical droid is like looking in the distance, in which like why does a droid need to use like binoculars? But whatever. I
I'll
rest my
never
case.
understand that.
But then there's 2 separate ones that Crosshair uses. One down his rifle scope, which is just the singular hole in the middle, and then there's one that was brand new. It was half his visor and his rangefinder. So it's like this. Sorry, it's like this is like what you're seeing, what my hands are. That's the only part of the image. And so it's just like the rangefinder down and then like this like cutout underneath. And I just thought that was so cool to see that they were using it so much in this episode, because just to really give like his actual point of view of this entire thing.
Yeah,
Did
for
you guys,
sure.
I was like,
That
did you
was-
guys notice this?
No, I honestly didn't. But now that you're talking about it, I'm
Yeah.
remembering the scenes, and I mean, you're absolutely right.
It was mainly when he was like scoping out the tank, with like just the whole doing what he does best from afar. So
Yeah, no,
Good
that's really cool. Huh.
I finally got that scene pulled up of the memorial, and it's a phase 2.
Oh yeah, that was in the
Damn.
chat. That was in the chat like 20 minutes
Oh, it
ago.
was? My bad. I was
No, I
looking,
just
I
opened the
didn't see
episode. It's phase 2 helmets on the statues.
wasn't
Oh,
there
wait.
a second Battle of Geonosis?
Yes, there was.
that. Oh, I didn't see
Brain
Oh.
Brianna's second thing. Okay, she did the legwork already.
But the second one
Thank you
also
for
had
doing
phase
legwork.
1 armor, so I don't know.
Hmm.
Who knows?
I know Chad mentioned here that we see
Bingo.
he Chad won bingo. Congrats,
Chad
Chad.
won bingo. Congrats,
But
Chad.
also,
Hmm.
it showed up in the Ahsoka arc. I don't at the wall.
Oh,
showed
the
up.
the barracks, the Imperial barracks. I'm assuming. I mean, it's something that
Oh,
we
when
like
she gets
never really.
arrested.
Yeah, it's
Oh
something
yeah, you
that,
know that makes sense.
I feel like there was never really emphasis like put on before, but seeing it as the Imperial barracks now is
Right.
something we haven't seen before.
Your new
Hmm.
empire. So I
At least
noticed
that's
the
a Star Wars
scope thing.
reference.
I noticed the scope thing, Jamie, our
Yes.
second watch through, not the first. I noticed they did it, but I didn't notice the detail to it. It was very nice. Very
Yeah, I in the rewatch I noticed the detail of it, especially the new one of half the visor with the rangefinder. That was very, very cool because it was very
Right.
unique.
cool. So they move their way into the castle. I guess it's a castle. When they're in there, the spiral
The bell
staircase.
tower,
Yeah, I get it's very.
which
It's
is
very World War
hilarious.
II movie, like sniping, tanks, crossing a bridge, bell towers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
without Jedi, it becomes the stakes become a lot higher for the clones in the situation. So, made for some good
Yeah.
action.
Yeah.
It is interesting seeing. I know we talked about this last week, but a clone-focused show with no Jedi. Like when you go from watching Clone Wars, like Jamie and I were doing our Bad Batch watch through. We watched the Bad Batch arc from season 7. That from going to that to Bad Batch, it's so different not having a Jedi there.
Not
That
for long,
witty-
baby.
That witty banter. Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
see Gunji
Okay.
soon, hopefully.
Oh
Uh,
yeah,
We'll get
It
we'll
is-
get
it is-
lightsaber stuff soon.
It is pretty wild.
It is. You're right though. It is, and you're absolutely right about this World War II feel to it.
Yeah, I
Like-
don't
Yeah.
know why.
Infiltrating a castle, shooting down tanks. You know,
It's like a Walden city
literally
like
the
that.
last-
It was
yeah, that's very World War
Private
II.
Ryan right there.
It was saving Private Groton.
Saving Private
Saving
Groton.
Governor Groton.
Oh
Saving-
no,
That's the name of
that's
the episode.
exactly what it is.
The bootlicker version.
Yeah, The Nazi
Exactly.
version of Saving Private Ryan. Oh,
Oh my
jeez.
god.
Wow.
Great job,
Saving
guys.
Governor Govan.
Nope.
Nope.
Strike that from the
that's Too
record.
far. That's too far.
So-
cut that.
This
To
actually
get to
also
the-
reminded me. Wait, hang on before we move forward. The whole the city of Dexys, like the Walden city, reminded me a little bit of the Battle of Naboo as well. Like when they're hauling around in the tanks.
Oh, yeah.
Not the fields, the wide open fields, but like when they're actually in the city. And trying to like infiltrate the palace. The whole
With the
just
bouncy
seeing.
speeders.
I can see
Yeah,
that. Yeah.
but just seeing the tank and then the civilians kind of just like scattering everywhere and just pressing through like so quickly. It just reminded me a lot of Theed for some reason. So I think that might just be because we haven't really seen like a battle like that on screen. But I mean, it was like, oh, Naboo.
Absolutely great trigger discipline on Crosshair for not shooting that family that opened the door.
Yeah.
Because I'll be
Yeah.
honest,
That's growth.
I would have started blasting.
You always lose those 500
scared the
points
hell
when
out
you're
of me.
playing arcade, like
Yeah.
Time Crisis.
Always. Always.
In that moment as well,
Be jumping
Cody lowers his blaster first, and it takes Crosshair longer, but he does lower it.
Well, just
And then
I
he
guess
doesn't
I'm giving
later.
him too much credit, but I'm like, wow, good job, Crosshair. You didn't shoot civilians.
Wow.
But it's like,
Crosshair
Here's
took
the
Men in
lowest
Black,
bar,
and
and you
test.
still climbed it.
yeah, there you go. What's a little girl doing with a physics textbook?
Yeah.
She's causing trouble.
He was there. He took the test.
This
Is that
guy
After Dark?
he had a Kleenex. I figured he was sneezing.
Men
Alright.
in Black.
Men in Black. Check.
Wow, we're on a roll tonight.
Oh
So
my god, too much.
I don't know why. I feel bad saying this, but I never am like too mesmerized by the action in the animated shows. I'm never like, I don't know, maybe it's because it's animated and they're not practical things, but this episode I really loved it because a lot of it was close quarters fighting, and going up the stairs was like such a great sequence with the mirrors and just
Yeah. Oh, that
Cody.
was really...
Cody didn't know what was going on. Crosshair's using mirrors, and then
Crosshair's
the one
just like, throw the mirror. And he's like, what? He's like, just
One of the
throw it
droids-
anywhere.
one of the droids learns what Crosshair is doing because these are the smart battle droids, the
Mhm.
tactical
The
ones,
commando droids.
the commandos,
Oh, yeah.
whatever they are. Someone
The ones
knows
with
in
the
chat,
swords.
probably.
Yeah.
Oh,
ones
yeah,
with the
those are
swords.
commando droids.
Jumped onto Cody, starts strangling him, or Crosshair.
Crosshair.
And Crosshair's like, Cody. It was like so sincere. It didn't sound
Yeah.
like Crosshair.
No, you're
Yeah.
exactly right.
Oh yeah, that was a great moment. Just like Cody, like snapping out of his like, just I don't know, what do you call it? Not bloodlust, but like oil.
He was also
lust.
like,
He's just
Oil
like, he's like, oh.
This oil bath is going
Oh,
to be
yeah.
Get a little too into that stabbing.
the heat of the moment fighting. I mean, okay, let's be real. How often does he get to use that knife? Because first of all, in the trailer, we all thought that was
It's
going to be
true.
Hunter's knife, and it looks exactly like Hunter's knife, by the way.
Hmm.
But
Yeah,
whatever.
same
I don't know.
knife.
But yeah,
Didn't realize vibroblades were standard issue. Yeah.
yeah, that was the other. Yeah, he just suddenly like has it. But yeah, that was really really good. One thing I find interesting as well is the use of the clones' names in this episode while we're like still on that. Because when he's like in the base early on, Crosshair is just referred to by his designation the entire time, and then obviously Cody calls him his name, Crosshair, and that was probably like the first time he heard someone call him by his name in a very long time.
Yeah.
And then they're just using names obviously the entire time. We get two random also throwaway troopers, Weiler and Nova. Oh god. And yeah, it's just all very very purposeful with how often they're actually like using the names.
I'm forgetting. Does Crosshair use the CT designations after he turns into a jerk?
Probably.
I know at the end he
No.
definitely goes Cody.
Well, he calls him Cody at the end of
CT229.
this episode.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if that's like a moment where we're supposed to realize like he's breaking through
Yes.
I think
because
so.
he's been using, CT, whatever, when he's addressing clones, but now he's calling one Cody, and it's like, whoa, and then of course Rampart kind of notices that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I didn't even notice that until you just mentioned it now, because when he has like the little like check-in at the very end, he asks what happened to Cody, and Rampart's just like, who? What? Like
Yeah,
I love
Clones
how
just keep going away, man. What's going on with that?
I love how Rampart is trying to be like this like big dope when it comes to like that. He's just like, what are you talking about? Just trying to catch Crosshair in some little like
Commander
trap
Cody.
that or like web that he's weaving. Like what is this, buddy?
I've
Yeah.
never heard of that. Never heard
He's
that
like,
name in my life.
if anyone's seen Glass Onion, he's like the main like like the billionaire guy who's just like
Yeah.
doesn't have an original thought in his body, just like
That is Rampart.
Yeah.
Exactly. I agree though. Cody did sound a lot like Hunter. I think that is just
Yeah.
down to D doing the voice, and like
Yeah,
the,
he
there's
was
so many ways I can do this. All right.
Yeah,
exactly.
I would assume that like most of the commanders and like ones in charge like kind of like sound the same.
Yeah,
Unfortunately,
and they all have knives.
and they all have knives.
They all have knives. I have
You're
to say,
commander now. Here's your knife.
having Cody defect was a great decision. I remember last week I was not complaining, but I was like, I kind of wish that we had gotten like a Cody versus Obi-Wan thing, or like, Cody kind of becoming like a Captain Ahab character, like hunting down Obi-Wan after he learned that he was alive, and I wanted to stay evil and all that.
With his
Completely
knife instead of a harpoon.
The eggs, come on, guys, writes itself. But no, I disagree with my past self a week ago. I am very, very impressed with how they handled Cody's defection. I love that he just does it off screen. We don't even see him do it. We don't even see him make the decision, escape anything. It's just Crosshair shows up. Where's Cody? Now he left. Oh,
I don't care.
Yeah.
Right.
Not my problem anymore.
That's because
that was great.
Rampart is treating it like it's not his problem, because I genuinely think Rampart at this point is just trying to ruin Crosshair. That is all he's trying to do. I don't think he cares. He doesn't care about anything else, but ruin the clones and specifically Crosshair, because he's like, just get this guy out of here. But let me ruin his entire life first.
Again.
You want to be my commander?
You'll never do clone trooping in this town again. You're finished, buddy.
This is a good take by Millie that every time Crosshair sees a clone lately, a notable clone that we know of, we don't see them again.
The redemptive
Definitely.
power.
Oh,
of
yeah,
how much
maybe
Crosshair is a jerk.
Building a case.
It makes everybody question their actions.
This guy's a stiff. I'm leaving.
Yeah, exactly. So Rampart thinks Crosshair is like telling them, hey, this is what's really going on. You should get the hell out of here. But meanwhile, the other clone is just like, oh my God, what is wrong with this guy? I'm leaving. And then Rampart's just like, oh, you made another guy leave. And Crosshair's like, I didn't do that. I'm loyal to the Empire. Like you gotta believe me here.
I'm loving these hand gestures. Loving the hand gestures. Ooh,
That's the hard case.
I'm right here. Just talk to me.
love that. Great job.
I'm super psyched to. Like last week, I was like, huh, what happened to the phase 3s? And here we are. Just nice to see them scattered about,
nice
just like
to see
you
the
guys said.
TKs. It is.
This was also a very good use of that as well. Because we see a few of them as we first get to Dexys, and then it's all clones on Coruscant. It's all clones with Crosshair and Cody. And then as they're leaving Dexys, we have the Star Destroyer occupied in the airspace, which is just a really striking shot of the city and then just the Star Destroyer, right? And then every soldier coming is a phase 3. No clones.
Yeah.
All the clones are leaving. And Cody notices this. Cody sees all of this. And Crosshair is just like,
Crosshair notices it too. Yeah.
He just pieces out. He gives like the biggest side eye to Cody you ever seen.
You seeing this?
You seeing this? Oh, I'm seeing this.
Oh yeah, it's that moment where all your favorite coworkers have left, and you're like, "Oh, I don't like all these management changes. I'm out."
Yeah, yeah.
And then you escape in the night, never to be
As
seen
you do
again
from any job in America.
Never see you again.
But I did like that. It's they talk about the Defense Act at the beginning of the episode. Obviously, we see the TK troopers kind of sprinkled around, and there's like a almost like a competition. I don't want to say competition because that's not really the right word, but something like that, like an adversarial role between the clones and the TKs. And then at the end, the TKs show up, and the clones know like this is it. Like they're phasing us out. They're replacing us. This is it. Yeah. So like Jack said, I think that's going to be a theme throughout the entire season. I think this is the end of the clones.
Yeah. And I think that's what this whole season will be. And then I don't know. My guess all along has been like they'll do 3 seasons next, and then the 3rd season would be like the Clone Rebellion or something. But that's way off from now. We're still here.
It seems like that's the whole thrust of what the Bad Batch as a show is truly about on the underside, is like the first like wiping away all existence of the clones one by one thing at a time. Like first it was their home world, if you will, because like that's when Camino got attacked, like that's how they treated it. Like this is our home, like this is what we're fighting for. If anywhere is our place, this is our place. And like that's gone. And now all they have left is their service to the Empire, and we're going to lose that this season. And it's like, what's going to be left by that point? And then, yeah, it would make sense if season 3 had the rebellion in it.
A double meaning for the title, Bad Batch. Not just the Bad Batch, but the entirety of the clones are the Bad Batch.
They're all
ones
Who's the Bad Batch now, suckers?
aren't following orders. They're all
But
kind
they're
of
really the good
subordinate.
batch.
Right,
Nice
but they're bad to the Empire. You know, they're defective because they're no longer following orders.
I like it. I like it a lot.
I
You
really
know-
liked.
Crosshairs pajamas.
Yeah, me
yes,
too.
of course.
We should
We
talk
all
about
did,
those more.
yeah.
But I really liked. We've already talked about it mostly, but I liked Cody and Crosshair's like final meeting at the wall. I love how anytime Cody walks by this wall, he has to stop and stare at it.
Stops and stares and goes, "I ain't feeling right." Every time.
He talks
That is
about
like what it is though.
he talks about pretty much, how what is the line? We make our own decisions. That's how we're different from the droids, and we have regret for a lot of them. I don't know the exact line, obviously, but he's talking about he thinks he killed Obi-Wan. Like that's
Which
what he's
I never
thinking
picked
about.
up on. I never picked up on that.
You didn't think that's like his big regret?
Well, I never thought that. I don't know. I for some reason I've always thought of Cody as knowing that Obi-Wan survived, but I guess not. You're absolutely right. He probably didn't.
He was just
Yeah,
getting
it's not like
dead.
the attack on Mustafar wasn't exactly publicized, so
Yeah.
there wouldn't have been any evidence of Obi-Wan's existence post Utapau.
Yeah, unless the Varactyl told him.
He
Hey,
could've.
It's
by
swam
the
away.
way,
He wouldn't snitch.
You're right.
No, he wouldn't snitch on his boy
way.
like that.
No way. No way.
But yeah, what else? What else?
I don't think
guys?
we're gonna see Cody again the rest of the season unless he shows up like in like the finale episodes. Like I really don't think we're gonna see him again,
I bet we'll see
unfortunately.
him in the finale. I think
Yeah.
you're right about that.
Yeah,
I think that if anything, he's going to just try to do what Rex is doing, and they're probably just gonna like cross paths, right?
Crosshairs.
Yeah.
What? I don't even know where.
I don't know. I don't know.
That was good. I did like that. I just want to say, give a shout out to the animation and like the 3D rendering team, whoever was responsible for the lighting and atmosphere of the Star Wars animated series of productions ever since the first seasons of Clone Wars. Of going back and rewatching it is always like, sure, like the models aren't exactly the highest polygon counts either, but
Yeah.
the biggest thing to me is always going back is the lighting and the atmosphere, and like there's just a lacking of that volumetric like shading and shadow and details that just like really pop, like the weave of like Anakin's tunic, for example, in the later seasons versus like the season 1, 2, and 3. It's just world of difference in terms of what they're able to do and like the way the lighting casts on it.
If you look at
And, like,
season
that last-
1,
Yeah.
the whole show is lit like a friggin' hospital. Like there's no shading, no
Yeah.
shadows, nothing. It looks
Flattest
as
lighting
just,
possible.
oh my god, it's so, I don't want to say bad because obviously they were working with a limited budget and they were working on with limited technology in the year 2008. And everybody was a friggin' caveman, but to see how far we've come since then is just really impressive.
no more.
Yeah, like, what struck
farting
me was-
Trandoshans. Sorry,
No, we're past those.
remember that one?
Yeah.
What struck me was the that last scene at night with Cody and like with the TKs coming off, the way the light was hitting their armor, the blue popping off the white, and then Cody and Crosshair talking at the wall, just the way it glows from the ambient like floor lighting, like it just
Makes
it's
you wanna be there.
so well designed. Yeah,
This
for real.
episode had everything when it comes to like the design and the colors and the lighting, because it had warm scenes, it had cold scenes, it had nighttime, daytime, interior, exterior, ones that were half covered up. There was a lot of moving parts in this episode, and they absolutely killed it. Like it probably is one of the best produced episodes of the Bad Batch and one of the best like stories as well. And definitely like top tier, and I can't wait to see like more from it this season, because it really is like just like setting up so much for everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I have
This
in
was
my
probably
notes.
My favorite.
This was my favorite Bad Batch episode, probably. And it might even be just like standalone one episode thing, because I don't think this is gonna be like an arc or anything. I mean, the story's linear, but I think this was maybe one of my favorite animated Star Wars episodes.
Yeah,
I don't know. It's I hate to say it's a simple episode because it's simple yet complex. It has everything as Jamie just said, but I don't know. It's just a good watch, good one off episode.
Yeah, and the
Yeah, it's
Kind
got good
brothers were
action.
just on fire. Kind brothers, please come on our show. I want to talk to you about that
Please.
friggin' score. You guys were lighting your keyboards on fire making that. I wanna talk to you about it. Yeah,
That's me.
That was good. That was really good.
that was a good pantomime.
Thank
that was
you,
great.
thank you.
Oh,
You're
man,
hired.
You brought me right
Uh,
there, man.
I mentioned it really early in the shows in our episode in our stream tonight of just like the ending with Crosshair waking up and he wasn't waking up, he was already awake, just like seeing him just being all distraught and whatnot, and it just reminds me of how Matt just mentioned that he's referring to like Cody as Cody and not by his designation anymore, so he's thinking as well. Crosshair is thinking and trying to figure out like what he wants to do, how he wants to proceed, and like he gets orders to proceed on to his next thing, and like purposefully puts his helmet on because this guy's barely holding it together. Like he is barely holding it together. Like if you think back to in Rebels when Callus has that catalyst moment, he's helmetless when he returns and nobody gives a shit. And so he's barely holding it together, but he doesn't have the option to like hide behind that helmet. But in this moment now, Crosshair is barely holding it together and truly doubting himself as well, which is something that we really haven't seen before because he's always been like, no, this is who I am. This is what I'm going to do. And now he's like, actually, I may have made a bad choice.
Well, yeah, because like with Rebels, when we see Zeb get picked up, like the way they treat him is so warm and kind, and then like Callus gets picked up, it's like, "What were you doing out here? Get in here, dirtbag, and sit down, shut up. We're flying off." And with this, it's like Crosshair doesn't need that because he knows what it was like before, and he knows like the way things have changed and it's just gotten so much worse. And like Cody is the one who's like, helped him like kind of start to really see, oh, wait a minute. Yeah, like you said.
I think that go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Okay. I think that seeing someone that knew him pretty well from the past is important. Because Cody definitely always knew who the Bad Batch was. Like we don't know the full history of, did he know them like way earlier? Like did he know them when they were like small still? Like I love like the fan like theories that like Cody is like kind of like their adoptive big brother when the Bad Batch was still like very small. I love like I like consume so much fan art of just like Cody and like the little Bad Batch because I'm like, oh, look at them.
Little Bad Batch. Is this
it's the perfect idea. Okay,
Were they all Daniel Logan's?
Yes, but they all it's adorable. Right. It's adorable. I urge everyone to just accept this as a headcanon canon fact that Cody
I'm
is
trying to imagine
a big brother to all of them. But regardless, seeing someone from his past is just so important for him to realize, hey, maybe I am doing the wrong thing, and maybe I do need to like rethink what has happened so far.
Yeah.
I need a Bad Batch babies stat. Like I need to see stocky like
Look,
baby Wrecker.
There is so much fan art there of like little kid Bad Batch. It's so good and it's so cute. And the best part of all of it though is Omega is just a small child and everyone else is a baby because she's older than them and they have the rapid aging. And it just makes your heart melt. It just makes your heart melt. It's so good.
I can just see Wrecker and he's like, "Where's my binky?" And then Crosshair's
"Where's
like,
my loser?"
He's like that big baby Angelica's brother or whatever.
Who eats her in that dream?
Yeah.
Oh my god! Why did you bring that up? Oh,
God.
He eats her.
I wanted to say quick on Cody.
Press Rugrats episode. Check it off the card.
Yep. There it goes. As Jamie was saying about Cody, like I think it really hits Crosshair. Like, oh, if Cody's like top of the line, like the top clone, right? Him and Rex are the top
Marshal
guys.
Commander.
Yeah. So like if he could leave and defect and go AWOL, like we all could, and maybe we all should. So
any clone who looks at that legislation that's on the board, they know that that's inevitably going to pass. Like if they're smart, and
Yeah.
they should all be getting their affairs in order.
Yeah.
Yes,
I think it's funny that those two clones mention it while they're at the lunch table. So what was the name of the act again, AJ, officially?
The Defense Recruitment Bill.
Okay, so Defense Recruitment Bill, they noted as it's up for a vote again. So that means that the Senate has already voted on it once and said no, but they probably put some like small program into place, being like, all right, we're going to gradually roll it out. And so Palpatine is going to keep pushing it.
Yeah.
And then
And
it's just
Mon's
the hammer's going to come
continuing
down.
voting against it, but that's not
Yeah.
gonna last long.
Yeah, and then
because
it's
all
probably
it needs
just
is like a couple tweaks. Yeah, like some
All it
provisions
needs-
need to be removed, and we're good.
all it needs is an executive order from the one in charge, the one who calls himself the Emperor.
Yeah.
So
I
for it to just happen.
Exactly.
We know we're also going to see Palpatine at some point this season as well, because
Oh,
that was in
yeah.
the trailer.
Can't wait.
So
That's gonna
that'll
be the
Speaking of
moment.
trailer,
Bring
something.
me the Bad Batch.
He doesn't know who the Bad Batch is. Okay, he definitely does not know.
No, that's all he
does
cares
not
about right
care.
You're gonna eat your words, Jamie.
That's right.
I'm
'Cause
dying
he's
on
all
this
about
hill.
cloning right now. This is his prime time for cloning.
yeah.
Hey,
this is
I
true.
doubt it.
We're doing some weird science. Got
My God.
So we get this- we get this episode, which is a 10 out of 10. Pretty
Yes.
dark and miserable feeling episode, in a good way, of course. Next week we're probably gonna get
Adventures in Baby.
giant crabs or something.
Giant Crabs Part 2.
Giant enemy
Oh,
crabs. They're back and they're
baby.
bigger.
Yes.
What's
Yes, please.
The weak
Jamie,
spots are even redder.
what's next week's episode called?
Oh,
I know we have the list somewhere here.
Give me like a minute, and I can let you know.
We can
I thought
spell
you.
it for you.
I thought
I'll
you were gonna
spell it.
ask what my personal.
HoloNet Marauder Lives will be back
So,
after these messages.
Think about this. What if Finn hears
Okay.
about the Bad Batch eventually? Wouldn't that be cool?
Say that again. Run that
Yeah,
back one more time.
that was a wild card.
Yeah, think about it. Finn just one day is like, oh wow, look at this info about the Bad Batch. I just learned about these clones that defected, and I defected. And that's Finn. That's Finn's face when he learns about the Bad Batch.
And here
You could do
is the
that?
Finn.
You could just leave.
Oh my
Jamie,
God.
did you find it?
All right, we gave you
I
plenty
did.
of time.
I
Come on.
found it right away, and then Matt threw that
Uh,
wild card in there.
I just
So
wanted to throw y'all for a loop.
next
that'll
week's
work.
episode is called Faster.
That's crabs.
That's it.
That's it. Faster. Next week is Faster, followed by Entombed, and then Tribe, and then we have 2 episodes.
So the Bad
Yes, I know
Batch
Finn is not
gonna-
alive yet. I'm
into
saying
pod
down the
race.
line, if he's
I
just reading
was
a book,
confused too at first.
and then they're like, the Bad Batch were a group of clones that defected from the Empire.
There's
Alright.
a biography
Oh,
about the Bad Batch.
Next
Look.
week's Omega wrote it.
Oh, there we go.
Next week's episode, the entire Bad Batch is going to be wearing their Under Armour vests, in which we're finally going to see. I'm very
by Under
excited
Armour.
to see all of that.
Crosshair wears Nike.
Do you think this is a
Faster,
pod racing
faster.
episode?
I know, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, it's
Oh!
a pod racing
Oh.
episode. Yes.
It might be.
They all get their
It's called
own pod
Faster.
racer.
Yeah, like no. They're gonna join a street pod racing gang, and they're gonna get in on a heist to steal a bunch of DVD players.
Okay, but
Oh,
seriously
yes.
though. So
I like it.
Or holo
Check off,
tapes.
you
Oh,
Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
you wouldn't steal a car.
you would download a pod racer.
I live my life 1/4 parsec at a time.
Two
I guess
references
it'd probably
in
be
one
swoop
here.
bikes because it seems like pod racing died out at some point after episode 1.
Died
Like, I don't know,
out?
there's
It got
probably- I mean,
outlawed
there's probably side
by the
books where they're
Empire.
like, oh, there's still pod racing and this planet, this
Uh,
planet. That's
well-
true. Yes, I mean,
In
swoop
Legends,
bike racing seems more likely.
So
I have one Legends fact I know.
But in canon, Darth Vader and Luke both pod race against each other in a comic. So.
Star Wars Demolition, good game. All right, Jamie, what you got?
so I was gonna say in the trailer we have shots of Tech zipping around and there's some like neon lit course. It looks like city streets. So question for you guys: what planet do you think it's gonna be on?
Well,
You said
Corellia?
neon lit streets.
I did
Neon.
think it was Coruscant,
Gaio.
but I don't think that now.
That would be so ballsy. To
I think it's
do,
gonna be
like, an
Narshada.
underground swoop.
Nah,
Oh
Narshada.
man, if we got Narshada finally on screen, like I don't think we've ever gotten to see it outside of like
I think they gotta go.
Dark Forces
'Cause-
games. Like, please give me Narshada. Stop giving me these other.
Hey, we
space
went
planes.
to Narshada. Hey,
There it is.
Woo, check,
My
check,
boy.
bingo, everybody. Woo.
I just noticed that was part of my nameplate on the intro, and yeah,
You saw that?
I just noticed it. Yeah.
Good. Anyway,
Planet
Oh,
Kenobi was
Narshada.
Dayu.
Be still
Yes.
my heart.
Could be
Outside of
Dayu.
KOTOR and the Dark Forces games, that's the only places that I think we can really say. I think
Hey,
it's
have
an
you
Empire
have
at
you
War.
read the comics? Because Showdown on
in the
Smuggler's
Marvel
Moon,
comics?
yeah, when Gracchus captures
Oh.
Luke and makes him fight in the arena,
Gracchus.
that's on Nar Shaddaa.
Gracchus, was he a Hutt?
Yeah, he was a big buff Hutt.
The one who was
collected
collecting lightsabers?
yeah,
A jacked
Jedi
Hutt.
artifacts.
That was on Nar Shaddaa?
That was on Nar Shaddaa. Yes, the Showdown on Smuggler's Moon.
Well, I want to see it in live action. Like
Okay.
there, like when it was in
That's fair.
when Book of Boba, when Mando was on that planet, I was really hoping that was going to be Nar Shaddaa from the trailers. And then
I did too.
It ended up being a
Still-
really cool planet of its own, like a really cool
It's
station.
still unnamed though. Oh, you're talking about Glavis?
the ring
World.
thing.
Yeah, Glavis.
Yeah.
I thought you were
Yeah,
talking about
Glavis
the
is
one at the
dope.
beginning of season 2. That one is still canonically referred to as the Honky Tonk Planet.
Which one?
So, waiting for a name. The one where
The
he
one
shows
where they
up.
went to the fighting ring.
Yeah, and John Leguizamo is there. Not John Leguizamo. Is it John Leguizamo?
That was
Yeah.
John
that
Leguizamo.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
so cute.
He's an
so
You
cute.
Abyssin,
can't
and
tell
he's
it's him
like-
at all.
You're talking about the Mando season 2
Yeah.
premiere.
I want
I'm
your
still-
shiny show. Give me your
I'm still
shiny
caught up
armor.
on Jack said Hutt, but I thought he said, was that the guy who was hot? And I was like,
Yes.
who? What
Gracchus-
are we
Listen,
talking
Gracchus-
about? What's going
Don't kink shame if someone's
Guys,
into Hutts.
Everybody right
That's
now,
their
take an
thing.
opportunity to Google Gracchus the Hutt. He's the hot Hutt. He has abs.
Is he actually the hot Hut?
Did
Yes.
somebody say hot tub?
God damn it, I gotta do it.
The
Gracchus
hot
the
Hutt, hot tub.
I don't.
This is Cody this episode. I'm seeing all the
The
stormtroopers show up.
man, the man looks. This Hut looks like he's totally out of it. Like he looks more out of it than.
Are you looking at
Jabba
the
does.
one from the Poe Dameron comics? Because that's when they free him from prison 30 years later.
I love how Jack is still on track here. And I think we need
I
to
don't know.
Gracchus in
realign
his prime.
ourselves here.
Straight up buff dude. Buff.
Oh
Hutt.
God. Okay, yeah, I see that with the lightsaber necklace.
Yeah, and he's got the lightsaber necklace, and he's walking around on these
Oh
like
no,
cybernetic
he's
crab legs.
hot.
Yes, that was Luke when he showed up. He lands on Smuggler's Moon, and he
That's what
immediately
Luke
like,
said?
oh no, he's hot. Yeah. Oh, we
I
oh
did not
god.
need to know that a
Okay,
butt
Why
guys.
we're
Hut
talking about
existed.
hot.
Okay, wow, we opened a lot of doors that I did not think we were gonna open today. So, I think that's it for this week. We'll be back
Really
next
close to
week
end it.
with more Bad Batch goodness. Next week's episode is called Faster, but this has been our recap for the Solitary Clone. And I'm still hung up on Crosshair's pajamas, and I probably forever will be. Anyway, thank you so much in the chat for hanging out with us tonight and talking with us. It's been a lot of fun. And thank you so much for anyone who's listening to this afterwards. We still love you guys just as much. If you've been watching it on YouTube, we also have an audio version, so you can listen to us on the go on any of those major podcast platforms. Then you can find us everywhere on social media, just at HoloNet Marauders, and we'll find you from there. Thank you so much for listening to the HoloNet Marauders podcast.
Buff Hutt.
Who is
Crosshair
the buff
shot
Hut?
Johnny Ames.